in Oklahoma. If you work for Tulsa area businessman Eddie Gibbs, you learn pretty quickly to never be shocked. I was surprised when Eddie called and told me he bought a boat, said John Davidson, Vice President of Operations for Shangri-La Resort. I didn't even know he liked boats. Then, Gibbs threw a real curveball. He told me it was JFK's wooden speedboat and wanted to know if we had room in the lobby of the hotel, laughed Davidson. It was a short conversation. Of course we do. That was in October. By November, the boat, a 17-foot mahogany beauty built in 1961, was at the Shangri-La Marina. We put it in the water to test it and it purred like a cat, said Mike Williams, Director of Communications at Shangri-La. The boat, which will soon be exhibited on a display being built for the Shangri-La Resort Hotel lobby, was owned at various times by 4 Kennedys, including John Fitzgerald Kennedy when he was president. There are dozens of pictures of JFK and his family driving the boat. It was docked near the family compound near Hyannisport, Massachusetts. It is a very cool thing, said Davidson. When we got it here and looked at it, we were stunned at how great of condition it is in and how beautiful it was. Gibbs was a fan of the Kennedy family, especially JFK, and loves one-of-a-kind collectibles, and this is certainly a one-of-a-kind collectible, said Williams. Gibbs jumped at the chance to get a rare piece of Americana. That was such an important time in our history, said Gibbs. It truly was a time of Camelot for our nation. John and Jackie Kennedy were inspirations to us all. Then, to see that Camelot dream shattered by JFK's assassination changed our nation forever. I rank that tragedy up there with Pearl Harbor, the Murrah building bombing, and 9/11. Gibbs is far more fond of golf than boating. In fact, Gibbs, who made Ameristar Fence Products into one of Oklahoma's largest and most successful homegrown companies, bought Shangri-La so that he could make sure his favorite golf course was preserved and improved. He started with the golf course but has embarked on a renaissance for the Shangri-La Resort that anchors the south end of Monkey Island on Grand Lake. Gibbs has spent 6 years, and by some estimates upwards of $35 million, bringing Shangri-La back to life, including a 120-room resort hotel. It opened in May. I'm excited to have a piece of history to remind us of those Camelot days and the nation's historic love of water, boating and recreation that we promote at Shangri-La, said Gibbs. Gibbs is just the third owner of the boat since the Kennedy family sold it a little over 30 years ago. It is a 1961 Century Resorter, which Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. won in a church raffle. Joseph, JFK's father, had the boat named Tenevis shortly after he brought the boat to the family home in Hyannisport. It referred to the 10 members of the family that made up the Kennedy family at the time. After Ted Kennedy was born, bringing the family to 11 members, the boat was named the Ristovis. It was later shortened to Ristofus, which is what it is now, painted on the back of the boat. After JFK's assassination, the boat was passed on to Jackie Kennedy, then to Bobby Kennedy, and finally Ted Kennedy. Ted took it in to be refurbished and told the mechanics that it needed some work. According to Howard Boats of Barnstable, Massachusetts, my brother Jack drove that boat like it was PT 109, JFK's naval assignment in World War II, Ted told mechanics. He was a little rough on it. In 1984, Senator Ted Kennedy sold the boat to the Bileskian family, founder of the Christmas tree shops, subsequently sold to Bed Bath & Beyond. Cod yachtsman and owner of Howard Boats Peter Eastman bought it in 2015. So, how did Gibbs get interested? He read in the Tulsa World about the boat being sold at auction, said Williams. I really had no idea that he was interested. I just did a little research on it for him. Then, we got the call that he had bought it. There is a famous video of Jackie Kennedy and astronaut John Glenn tandem skiing behind the boat. I don't think you'll see anyone skiing behind it up here, although I'm sure it is in good enough condition. But that's up to Eddie, said Davidson. It will have a special home. Before the boat is moved into its new lobby home, it will make an appearance at the Tulsa Boat, Sport and Travel Show January 29 February 4. That will be the first public appearance of the boat since it was brought to Oklahoma, and then it'll come back to its permanent home at Grand Lake, said Davidson.